At first, Peter and John each had the same number of apples. After Peter had sold 189 apples, and John had sold 24 apples, John had 4 times as many apples as Peter. How many apples did Peter have at first? Now, here we are required to find the apples that Peter have at first. They already mentioned at first Peter and John each had the same number of apples. So if you want to use smaller diagram to represent them, P stands for Peter and J stands for John. In that case, we will draw both of them to be of the same length because at the very beginning, at first, they have the same number of apples. Now, in the second part, John sold 24 apples and Peter sold 189 apples. So assuming that this is the 189 apples that Peter has sold away and John sold 24 apples, John had 4 times as many apples as Peter after selling. So in this case, if Peter have 1 unit after selling 189 apples, John will be 4 times of that. And he sold 24 apples. Now remembering that this 1 unit and this 1 is the same, it goes to show that this part here is also the same. In this case, 3 units plus 24 apples would be equal to 189 apples. So in this case, we'll write 3 units plus 24 apples will give us 189 apples here. If we want to just find 3 units, we need to take away 24 apples from the left hand side and the right hand side to be remaining with 3 units. It's the same as 189 apples minus 24 apples. We will have 165 apples here. Now if 3 units stands for 165 apples, we want to find the number of apples Peter have at first. We need to know 1 unit. So 1 unit will be 165 divided by 3, which was give us 55 apples per unit. So to find the number of apples Peter have at first, we would take 55 plus 189 apples here as mentioned, and you will arrive at an answer of 244 apples.